You know, these Marxist bastards all have the same thing in common, whether it's AOC or Omar or Tlaib, whether it's Bernie Sanders or Antony Blinken, believe it or not. And then here's Alvin Bragg. And you know what it is, America? They hate us with a passion. They hate our country with a passion, and especially the Jews. May I say that? And that would include Alvin Bragg. You know, I don't know if it's a problem or it's a blessing, but I know my history. I study history. Mark, what are you going to do this weekend? Read, among other things, of course. But these are the people, just like them, and they're killing our country. And now they've taken over our legal system. The judges and the prosecutors, they've taken over our legal system. They're the worst. They're the absolute worst. And this punk, this slob, Alvin Bragg, he all but destroys our legal system for his party. It's what they do, the Marxists, the party. The Democrat Party is the equivalent today, listen, this is important, to a communist party in another country. It truly is. It's the equivalent of a communist party. Party first, party all-powerful. The people have to have allegiance to the party, not the country. You think all these people coming in this country have allegiance to the country? Why would they? What do they know? But they'll have allegiance to the Democrat Party. You better believe it. And that's what the Democrat Party cares about. I'm telling you. I wrote American Marxism. I'm telling you that this is the model. It's an American form of Marxism. Not the Chinese form, not the Soviet form, not the Cuban form, but it is an American form of Marxism. That's what it is. And that's why New York Post, outraged at Manhattan DA Bragg's office, drops nearly all the cases from Columbia University's anti-Israel protest. First of all, it was an anti-Jewish riot. Nearly all the protesters charged with storming and occupying Columbia University's campus during heated anti-Israel demonstrations. It's more than anti-Israel. That would be bad enough. But Jews in the street in the United States aren't safe. They will not face criminal charges. Manhattan prosecutors announced yesterday, drawing outrage from law enforcement and Jewish advocates. And not just Jewish advocates, from all law-abiding American citizens. District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office dismissed cases against 31 of 46 people charged with trespassing. Wow. Too bad we don't have a prosecutor like that in Washington handling January 6th. What do you think of that, America? And let's just stop there. It is an outrage. It is sickening. It is sickening that you have people in prison today over January 6th. And that's an insurrection, you see. And yet, the overwhelming majority of the people who were violent and trespassing at Columbia University are scot-free. Why? Because they're Marxists and Islamists. That's why. What about the others? Well, they're Trump supporters. They're in Trump prison. And the others are free as a bird. Don't give me this crap that January 6th was an insurrection. The insurrection is the existence of this Democrat Party. That's the insurrection. Whether it's executive orders or an open border, whether it's funding Iran, whatever it is, that's your insurrection. Now, District Attorney Bragg's office dismissed cases against 31 of 46 people charged with trespassing. The Ivy League school's Hamilton Hall, after a dramatic April 30 NYPD raid, rounded up protesters on the Morningside Heights camp. Imagine the cops here. Seriously. They put their lives on the line. They have to put up with this crap. It's not easy putting 50 pounds of crap on your body to round up these guys. Just look at this. This is Bragg. This is Bragg's America. Where you try to imprison your political opponents, not just your political opponents. The man running for president of the United States in the opposite party, this loathsome district attorney. But under your own nose in your own city, in your own part of the city, Manhattan. Violent, anti-Semite, racist, Hitler Youth, Marxists and Islamists, they get off free. They get off free. Prosecutors largely cited lack of evidence. Don't we have videotape of this, Mr. Producer? What are you talking about lack of evidence? Talk of lack of evidence, that was the trial against Trump. There was no evidence. There was no law. There was nothing. Zero. The same damn office in Manhattan. Well, you have a lack of evidence here. You have a lack of evidence. You got a pile of evidence. Such as security video footage that could tie the students or staff to the building takeover for leaving them free and clear without even a slap on the wrist. The dismissals quickly drew the fury from rank-and-file NYPD officers. Of course it did. Higher education officials and Jewish leaders who spoke with the Post. This is turnstile justice, said Michael Nussbaum, a 25-year member of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. You going to vote Democrat, Michael? I don't know who you are. Maybe you're a big-time Republican. This is a green line for chaos, a green light for destroying property. Michael Nussbaum might be a great patriot. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Stephen Millan, Millan, said that prosecutors had trouble moving forward with charges due to extremely limited video surveillance that couldn't prove anything was damaged inside the building. You have people that went inside the Capitol for no time at all, like Brent Bozell's son. And they threw the book at him, and they throw the book at hundreds and hundreds of American citizens. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it depends on what side of the political spectrum you're standing on. You're a no-good insurrectionist who's trying to destroy the country if you're in Washington. On the other hand, you're a righteous Marxist Islamist if you're in Manhattan. I don't blame people for being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of this whole... I'm sick and tired of all of them. I'm sick and tired of all of this. Milan also told Judge Kevin McGrath that cameras inside Hamilton Hall were covered up during the police raid and that no cops were injured. So, Mr. Producer, what do we do when there weren't cameras? The hell's going on here? I remember when there were riots on college campuses in California, and Reagan took care of business. We don't have any cameras here. You know, what are you talking about? Protesters wore masks during the demonstration, making it difficult to point out the specific antics of each individual, the DA's office said. Is this the public defender's office, or is this the prosecution's office? You go after Donald Trump, you don't even have a crime, let alone the fact he didn't commit a crime. And here, you have this. Students and staffers at Columbia, Barnard, and the Union Theological Seminary, who had their charges dropped, faced disciplinary action by the school. Oh, yeah, let's hold our breath on that one. Notorious protester Aidan Parisi, Aidan Parisi, 27, a post-grad student in social work at Columbia, was among the 31 to have their cases dismissed. I'm sure that Alvin Bragg wanted to make sure that he had his case, or she, whatever the hell it is. The lone remaining defendant, the lone remaining Hamilton Hall defendant not offered a plea deal is James Carlson. The scoring of millionaire ad executives who owns a $2.3 million home in Park Slope. See, even that punk. Even that moron. Because his parents are rich. Alvin. No offense. Who calls their son Alvin anymore, Mr. Producer? I think Alvin's parents hated his guts. Did he have parents? Or was he dropped on the sidewalk? I don't even know. Carlson has been dubbed as the possible leader of the Columbia University protest. Now listen to this. So here's a punk millionaire, son of millionaire parents. He's the leader of the protest. Was reported to have charged by cops with hate crime, assault, and petty larceny raps. Prosecutors said he faces trespassing charges, as well as arson and criminal mischief charges for allegedly torching an Israel supporters' flag during an April demonstration. So they got one guy? This is a sickening joke. Sickening. Prosecutors also threw out 9 cases, including 6 students who were charged for occupying a building at City College of New York protests on April 30. Several police sources could barely contain their disbelief to the Post. Lack of evidence, apparently body-worn camera wasn't enough. Exactly. There's plenty of evidence. They wore masks. They have fingers, don't they? Whatever happened to fingerprints? I mean, seriously. Plus, there's witnesses. You know how to conduct an investigation. All you have to do is watch enough television. And you know more than Alvin Bragg. You bring one of the punks in, you lay into them, and they start to tell, yes, Frankie and Nancy and McMillan and Madison. Oh, yes, they were all involved. And Muhammad and whatever. We have a DA giving them what amounts to a mandate to push the envelope further now, fumed another veteran cop. Jeffrey Weisenfeld, who served 15 years as a trustee on a governing board of Cooney, said it's strained belief that authorities couldn't identify anybody. How can it be that you can't identify a single person? It's not acceptable. It's not good for the city. Well, that's an understatement. This pig, Alvin Bragg. It just turns my stomach. Turns my stomach. You have the rise of the Hitler Youth, Marxists and Islamists, doing damage to buildings, attacking cops, violent to Jews. They couldn't go to class. And Alvin Bragg can't find enough evidence. Now, seriously, America? In Donald Trump's case, where there's evidence of nothing, there's a crime for nothing, even the crimes they're playing around with, they don't identify. The one they do in the state doesn't even exist. The statute of limitations ran. We're going to have to hear that blowhard, moron, stupid, you-know-what, Biden. Oh, convicted felon. They got what they want. And we're all supposed to sit here and play patty cakes and think it's all okay? The people attacking the Jews get a pass from Alvin Bragg? The same Alvin Bragg that tries to imprison Donald Trump. Donald Trump has a sentencing hearing in a few weeks. We don't have any evidence. You fat slob.